everyone, Pastor Harris here, and welcome to TCC Online. Today is part 4 of our series, Recognize, Remember, and Recommend. Okay, we are in the Gospel of Luke in the 24th chapter and verse 8, and it says, and they remembered his words. Okay, the disciples having this gigantic puzzle, if you will, to piece together from the time that they were called, okay, through all of their experiences, 3 years of ministry with the Lord. All right, during those 3 years, lots of miracles, they've seen a lot of things, and oh, by the way, he proved that he was the Son of God. Okay, now they get into what could be considered some what moments. All right, he's arrested, he's beaten, he's crucified. And during those times where what you see, what you hear, what your common sense, all that you are looking at, all that you can bring in with your intelligence is saying, this is crazy. This is nuts. This is not making sense. This is a time when you've got to remember what thus says the Lord. This is a time to remember. This ain't your first rodeo. Okay? This is not the first time you've been through some craziness. And because the fact that you're here now lets you know that God brought you through it, didn't he? God came through for you. Okay? And so the remembrance is so important. I want to share with you the Greek definition when over and over and over in the Bible, God is saying remember, and different heroes of faith talk about remembering and bringing past victories with the Lord into their current situation. To remember then, it means to recall to the mind an act or effort of your memory. Recall, and sometimes we really got to put effort. Have you ever sat there and go, man, what was that? Trying to pull it back up. Do not be afraid or ashamed to put forth effort to remember what God has done for you. Okay, to pull back up saying, yeah, I was on a really tough time and man, this happened and the Lord really came through. That's why I've always journaled, and of course something that I mentioned before is praying. Let these experiences be in my spirit, because guess what? If what God has done for you is in your spirit, man, certain things are in there. And then you can call upon God, bring it back to remembrance, some things that you did for me. Don't be ashamed to pray that prayer. I prayed it a lot, okay? A lot of critical times, and God was so faithful to answer my prayer, and I remember, and I go back to my journal and look and go, okay, and step 1 and step 2 and step 3 and the details of how God worked behind the scenes and the understanding that God was doing things that I didn't even know. And then at the end, there was the manifestation, and there was that aha moment where I did what? Recognized, identified. You know what? God was working in this thing the whole time. Even in the natural, just like with the disciples, when Christ got arrested, he was beaten, he was tortured, he was murdered. Okay, public execution. And after all that you've seen, the miracles and how wonderful he was, and now he's dead, you go, what? But remember his words. Okay, he had told them the Son of Man is going to be beat, tried, crucified, and on the third day rise again. I know if I was those guys on Friday when he died, I would have been, okay, Sunday's coming, y'all. Sunday's coming. You know why? Because I remember what he said on the third day, what? He'll rise again. The final thing I want to say on that is he told them that everything was going to be okay. You say, well, he didn't exactly say it like that, but what did he say? On the third day, I'll rise again. Which equates to what? Everything's going to be okay. All righty. Blessings. We'll see you next time.
The bread, your body, the wine, your blood, sweet communion, you set a table for us. The crucified Jesus, no greater love than the bread, your body, than the wine, your blood. Oh,